Hello everyone. Tonight I'm going to be doing a review on the first of the Micromaster patrols for the new War for Cybertron Siege toy line. Those of you that grew up in the original Generation 1 may remember the Micromasters. Me personally, I didn't know much about them. I really got my first introduction to Transformers during like the Generation 2 era. So Micromasters kind of passed me by there. But these guys are cool. They're based on the original Micromaster teams from Generation 1. The original teams were 4-bot teams. These are only 2 bots, and I'll talk about that a little bit during this review. So this team is considered item number 4 in the series. It consists of Roadhandler and Swindler, as you can see here, and they are part of what is called the Race Car Patrol team. So one thing that's new to Micromasters, as you can see here and here, is that each pair that gets released not only have their standard robot and vehicle modes, but are going to be able to combine into some sort of weapon to further go along with this whole weaponizing gimmick that Siege has been centered around. So let's go ahead, open this up, take a look at these guys. I obviously don't have the originals to compare them to, so it's going to be just kind of a fresh take on the toys, just judging them on their own merits. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we have Swindler and Roadhandler in their vehicle modes. They're both designed to be some sort of sports cars with real late 80s bend to them. Nothing particularly special about these modes. They do roll just fine. They very much resemble like the old Micro Machines cars from back in the day, because that was kind of the intention of the Micromaster toys, was to mimic the success of Micro Machines and toy lines like it. So not much to say on these. Pretty minimal paint applications, just really black for like the windshield and the roof and all that. Everything else is just like unpainted in the vehicle mode. Each have an Autobot tampo on their driver's side doors. Lots of robot cable underneath. And sadly, these guys only comprise 1/2 of the original Race Car Patrol team. For some reason, Hasbro has decided that they're not doing full 4-member teams. And anyway, we're only getting about half of each one, seemingly randomly selected. So that's a shame. We'll probably only get about half of the classic Micromasters. But what can you do? The powers that be at Hasbro have decided. Alright, so to transform these two into the robot modes, let's start with Swindler here. These guys follow some pretty classic design cues of little car transformers. So you're just going to swing out his feet like so. Then you're going to kind of separate the hood of his car a little bit. Pull the ends away from the center. And you're going to kind of rotate and swing the center portion down against his back. And then that's really about it for the transformation. These bits form his arms with like really big shoulder pads. They're articulated, but they're somewhat limited in their movement because of his giant wheel shoulders. Knees can bend, hips are on ball joints just like the shoulders. Head doesn't move at all. And he's got some, decent paint applications on his shoulders, his chest, his head, a lot of blue, got a yellow face and visor there. So it contrasts well with the otherwise pretty plain grayish silver. So there's that. For Roadhandler, starts off very much the same way. Just unfold his feet from the rear of the vehicle. Which a little harder than it looks, honestly. So you got that there. His whole car hood section is just gonna flip down completely. And then you just kind of unpeg his arms from his back. And there you go. He has pretty much all the same articulation points as Swindler, but his arms can move much more freely because they don't have all that massive kibble on them. And I think he's definitely the more interesting looking. Got a lot more going on with the paint here. He's got a black pelvis, black stripes on his shoulders, silver chest and head, or sorry, yellow chest and head with some silver accents, and then a blue face. And he's just a really neat looking little robot. And then here we have the two of them standing together. See, despite being, you know, on the same team, they don't share color schemes or anything. Very different looking, which is good. You know, they don't look too samey. So I like them. Honestly, prefer Roadhandler a little bit more than Swindler, just because I think his colors pop better and he's got way better articulation. All right, now finally we're going to transform them to their combined weapon mode, which is a new thing that these Micromasters are doing that most of them previously didn't. They combine to form a weapon for the larger Transformers. And if you look at the instructions here, their combined weapon mode is called the Multi-Mech Particle Exhaust Cannon. Here, its stats right there. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to take Swindler first. Bring his hood section back up like you're transforming him back into car mode. Peg all that back in together. Takes a little bit of force, but there you go. Connect his feet together, and then you're actually going to turn his whole lower body in a 180, like so. And then you are going to flip out his little 5mm handle here above his head, like so. So there's that half of him. Then for Roadhandler, I'm going to partially transform him back to car mode, just like Swindler. Make sure his, oops. Make sure his arms go back. I'm supposed to put the feet together. Then you just flip out his handle as well. All right, that's simple. And then what you do is take this guy, kind of lay him on his back. Take old Swindler, and you are going to plug this handle into Swindler's little chest cavity there. So yeah, I gotta kind of bring Swindler's feet up a little bit. All right, so his legs actually have to bend a little bit to really have clearance, and his heel really should be flush against like his pelvis there. And this is a really awkward looking mode. It's like they're just kind of laying on each other. Doesn't look much like a gun, though these are supposed to be like gun barrels right here, so it's like a 4-barreled weapon. It's got the handle right there for a bigger figure to hold on to it. Just to show how these actually work in practice, I'm going to give them to the old hound to hold on to. And it's really bad. This is a really weak weapon mode. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look like a weapon. It looks like something that was fan moded by like a 5-year-old kid. It really does. Aside from what are supposedly like gun barrels right there, it doesn't look anything like a weapon. I think, this is a gimmick that was kind of shoehorned in that these toys would have been better without. Honestly, I don't see any reason the Micromasters had to combine with the bigger figures. Especially since the design team did say that they weren't really going to be forcing gimmicks on their toys this time around, but then they decided to make a bunch of non-combining, non-Target Master Micromasters into combining Target Masters. I don't know. Weird choice, and you're going to see some fluctuations with the execution amongst the different Micromasters. This, in my opinion, is the worst one that I've seen so far. I recommend not putting your toys in this weapon mode. It just looks absolutely silly. But, you do you. If you feel the need to have this abomination on your shelf, be my guest. So yeah, I strongly favor the standard 2 modes, a robot in the vehicle over this. You will not see me displaying my toys like this anytime soon. But that's just how I feel. Perhaps you feel differently. If so, why not let me know in the comments section down below. If you did enjoy this review, go ahead and toss it a like. If you want to see more like it or watch my Transformers discussions, feel free to subscribe. Make sure to hit the notification bell to be sure that anytime I post something new, you'll get notified of it. And with all that said, I will see you all next time.